157 years ago, the founding members of the New York Yacht Club started a regatta in this very building that has become the oldest regatta in the country. Hi, I'm Tucker Thompson, and welcome back to the New York Yacht Club annual regatta presented by Rolex. Yesterday, we followed the fleet around the island, and today and tomorrow we'll be following them in round the buoys action in 3 different divisions. We begin with the most offshore fleet and the biggest boats. It's IRC-1, starting like dinghies. Kenny Reed at the helm of Marmostro, the Puma Volvo boat, luffed up the other boats. And now with the rigs atop the big race committee boat, they're off, sheet in, and get to full speed. We're off in race 1. IRC-2 stacking up on this weather-favored end like dinghies as well. And with that, IRC-2 is off. Definitely trying conditions for all fleets. Here's IRC-3 off the line. 2 boats jump the gun, and we'll have to head back. Of the 2, Jack LaFort's After Midnight was the only one to clear. He has to 2-tack it just to get back across the line. The competitive New York Yacht Club One Design Swan 42s off the line next, and they're sailing the New York Yacht Club's qualifier for the Invitational Cup this fall. Though it's tough to see, conditions are actually quite nasty upwind. Not so much for the breeze, but for the short chop as the boats pound through it. However, big waves upwind translates into big speed downwind, particularly if you're Kenny Reed at the helm of Marmostro, training for the Volvo Ocean Race. Look at him go. And it's all IRC-2 can do to keep up, while the Swan 42s head upwind. At the top mark, it's local sailor Malcolm Gefter, leading the rest of the competitive Swan 42s who are stacked up on the starboard ley line. Three deep, 4 and 5 deep actually on this starboard ley line. It is crowded to try and find a spot and then get the poles ready for the set. Crews jumping into action. This is competitive One Design racing at its best. Upwind in IRC-1, it is all Puma's Marmostro. When I come back, I want to be Kenny Reed. Imagine that, the coolest job in the world, driving this for work every single day. Behind them are the rest of the big boats. Ahead and to leeward is Rima 2 with a pack of 3 on her hip to this favored right-hand side. At the bottom of the track, the Swan 42s have pretty much split sides, with half the fleet going left and the other to the right. Not everyone's having an easy time of it back upwind. This foredeck crew trying to sort out a problem to get the jib up and get the speed back on. Up from the Cayman Islands, it's Peter Cunningham's power play taking line honors in IRC-2. And as we wrap up the action on the Blue Fleet, we move over to the White Fleet. But first, we take a moment to reflect on the history of this regatta.
I'm Bob Taus, and I'm Commodore of the New York Yacht Club. The annual regatta is the first major sailing event of our sailing season. It's been going on since 1845, and the first regatta was held in New York Harbor. And it was a 40-mile tour of New York Harbor with big boats. It was won by a boat called Signet, Commodore Edgar. And he became our second Commodore. The trophy that was won that day was put back into competition in 1947, called the Signet Cup, and it's raced each year on the cruise as a Challenge Cup. It's the oldest continuous regatta anywhere in the country. We first came to Newport to sail it in 1901. It's only been disrupted by wars. And today, thanks to our wonderful partnership with Rolex, it constitutes one of the very major sailing events, not only in the East Coast, but in the country. My son Farley and I are going to be sailing with the 6 meters. And we've got an old 6 meter built in 1922 called Sice. So we're really looking forward to it.
In 157 years, one thing that hasn't changed is the expert race management of the New York Yacht Club. IRC 4 prepares for their second start. And it's all clear off the line. IRC 5 off the line next at this favored committee boat end is William Mayer's Signet, named after the boat who won the very first annual regatta. British racing star Andy Green at the helm of the red boat. Hornpipe looks like he's teed up to win the start in IRC 6, and they're off. Picante, nice job at the weather end. And finally, the J105s are off the line last. Great start for Jouster. The breeze has definitely picked up, and there are big ships out here. Staying in phase is key. Wings is doing a good job staying out in front of their fleet. With Andrew Weiss's Christopher Dragon close behind. Jack Needs' Ricochet leads IRC 5 at the top mark as the crew readies for the set. Bill Sweetzer's Rush finished second last year. He's in second place now as long as Defiance from the U.S. Naval Academy doesn't roll over the top. More speed and momentum and waterline help in this breeze. Storm and Kaleva give us an idea of which is easier to set. An A-sail with a bowsprit? Yes, Storm is off and rolling. Kaleva 2, however, still working on that symmetrical sail. They're going to have lower angles downwind as Storm takes off. Here comes the set. Mort Weintrop's Troubadour and Bill Sweetzer's Rush give us another example of the difference between S-sails and A-sails. Troubadour sailing lower is converging on Rush, but with hotter angles, Rush looks like they'll have enough speed to blast through their lee, but it's close. Charles Milligan's Act 1 likes this left-hand side. There definitely seems to be more velocity that way. It's Bruce Stone in the lead of the J105s. That kite almost went over the bow. Great reaction by the bow person up on front for Jouster. Brian Keane, Savasana. That's not a boat you want right on their heels. Heading back upwind, they'll tack. The first boat across the line is Downtime, taking line honors in IRC 4. And that wraps up racing offshore. Throughout all the years of hosting this annual regatta, it's still the spirit and tradition of great sailing that holds true here at the New York Yacht Club. And there's still more to come tomorrow. Until then, I'm Tucker Thompson. Thanks for joining us.